other issue as well. All right. And as I said, we're out of time. Joining us now, though, for more reaction, perhaps he wants to comment on that, Georgia Congressman and Chief Deputy Whip for the House GOP Conference, Congressman Drew Ferguson. Thank you very much for joining us. So just pick up on the conversation that we're having there.
Listen, I think the previous guest made some great points. I think there is a misallocation of funds in the Biden budget. We are spending a lot of money on Green New Deal stuff in our military, buying electric vehicles. We're pushing money into the wrong areas. We are in a very dangerous world, and we are also in a technology race with the greatest threat to America, and that is the Chinese Communist Party. And so we need to be focusing on those technologies. We need to be investing in those technologies like hypersonic missiles, the things that really are important for us to continue to be able to defend ourselves and to make sure that freedom remains around the world. Yeah. And so when you look at both the cost of inflation as it relates to fuel and food with our military, it is actually shrinking our budget. The spending is not there. And then if you look at the Green New Deal initiatives, these are expensive, unproven things that have nothing to do with the readiness. And it's a continuation of the narrative of the Biden administration. It's misplaced priorities.
Yeah, and so let me ask you about that. You need a certain amount of military to knock things down and protect from being knocked down, right? But then there's also the cyber area where you need educated people. It's not all about touchy-feely, let's all get along. This is about well-educated people trying to protect us and our lives here in this country. Are we spending enough on cybersecurity and the ability to deal with whatever China or Russia might do on that end?
We need to be ramping up cybersecurity. We need to be ramping up the workforce that goes into cybersecurity, ramping up the training, the creativity there. And another component that's very important that we haven't talked about yet is what's going on in space. Look, we are very vulnerable in space right now, and it would take some very unique weapons from China and Russia to basically knock out our satellites. That's a very dangerous position for us to be in. In the end, we've got to be thinking very much in a very forward way, thinking about the future, investing in those technologies, and simultaneously, let's invest in our men and women in the military the right way, making sure that they've got the resources that they need.
But at the same time, you have those from the far left side of the Democratic Party already extremely upset that he initially even put in allegedly an increase of $83 billion for the military budget, also an increase for ICE and immigration.
Listen, the big government socialists on the far left, their priorities do not align with the majority of Americans. People look at what's happening on our southern border, the human trafficking, the fentanyl, the wave of people coming across that are going to exacerbate an already tough food situation in the U.S. going into the fall with rising prices and in some cases access. Right. Those are the kinds of things that worry Americans. So we need to be able to defend ourselves, and particularly need to be able to defend ourselves at the southern border.
Congressman Ferguson, thank you, sir.
Thank you.